17 movies and web series you need to watch before Golden Globes 2021. Award seasons are back again. This is the time of year when Hollywood celebrates the year in a big way that has gone by and recognizes the craft of movie making and the artists that stood out among thousands of performances. Having said that, this year is certainly going to be a lot different, as not only are these ceremonies pushed back, but most of them will be held virtually, all thanks to COVID-19 pandemic. Block your date. It is on February 28th, when TV's finest will come together at the 78th Annual Golden Globe Awards. The hosts for this much-awaited evening will be your favorite duo Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and this will be their fourth time together as hosts of this prestigious award ceremony. It's not been long since the nominations were announced. There are too many people who are looking forward to catching up with the movies and shows that will be under the bright spotlight. With just a week left for the evening of this prestigious award ceremony, here we have compiled a list of nominated web series and movies that you should binge watch before the commencement of the Golden Globe Award 2021. 1. The Crown, a hot favorite. The Crown has been, without any doubt, a hot favorite right from season 1. While people love to watch what's unfolding in the royal family, the portrayal of royal family members in this much-acclaimed series has managed to make some serious super loyal fan following. The latest season gained much more interest mainly because it showcased the Princess Diana chapter. Many were desperately awaiting the release of this season, as speculations were on a high-time rise in terms of which events from the Duchess of Sussex's life will make the final cut. And once it was finally released, it was loved by fans and critics alike across the globe. 2. Ratched, for the love of a suspenseful drama. Ratched, a suspenseful drama web series, revolves around asylum nurse Mildred Ratched. In the year 1947, Mildred arrives in Northern California to work at a leading psychiatric hospital where innovative and unsettling experiments have begun that too on the human mind. Remembering Shuttle Island? That was just the beginning. 3. Emily in Paris, Easy Breezy Watch. An easy breezy watch, this show was a visual treat as it consisted of all things Parisian. Beginning from the fashion quotient to the small café located in the interiors of Paris lanes, this show offered France as a backdrop to the story of Emily, who is a marketing executive and has recently been relocated to Paris for her job commitment. Lily Collins not only played the lead but she also co-produced this series. 4. Mrs. America, for all Cate Blanchett fans. Starring Cate Blanchett in the lead role, Mrs. America dramatizes and narrates the story behind the movement to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment and the unexpected backlash which was led by conservative activist Phyllis Schlafly. 5. The Mandalarian, for the love of Star Wars we say. Undoubtedly a visual treat for all Star Wars fans out here, the Mandalarian movie begins 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, 1983, and the fall of the Galactic Empire. It follows Din Djarin, a lone Mandalorian bounty hunter in the outer reaches of the galaxy. 6. Queen's Gambit, story of a chess prodigy. This 7-part limited web series portrays the story of an orphan chess prodigy, Beth Harmon, who fights with alcoholism and drug addiction and eventually goes on to compete with several elite chess players across the globe, at the same time tackling the inherent sexism in the sport. Not only is this ride into the world of Harmon nail-biting, but it also gives a detailed insight into the lesser-known world of chess. 7. Mank, still missing good of filmmaking? This one is for you. Mank is a story of old Hollywood of the 30s and 40s. Revolving around the life of alcoholic screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz, this movie showcases America was in the midst of the Depression and the onset of World War II. Mank is shown trying to finish writing the screenplay of the movie Citizen Kane. 8. The Trial of Chicago 7, courtroom drama? Never fades. The Trial of Chicago 7 is a courtroom drama based on the trial of the infamous group of people who protested against the Vietnam War at Chicago Central Park. The film chronicles Chicago 7's trial after they were charged with inciting riots at the 1968 Democratic Convention in Chicago. 9. Borat subsequent movie film, sequel. At Last. Sequel to 2006 mockumentary film, Kazakh's funnyman Borat is released from prison for bringing shame to his country. He risks his life when he returns to the United States with his 15-year-old daughter. 10. Hamilton, musical musings. An audiovisual treat for all the fans of musicals, this award-winning film tells the story of Alexander Hamilton, first Secretary of the Treasury. It is a perfect blend of hip-hop, jazz, R&B and Broadway styles. What more you can ask for? 11. The Prom, a simple teenage romance. A pretty simple story of a teenage boy who desires to take his girlfriend to prom. This movie is again a musical which thoroughly entertains as it has a fabulous star cast including Nicole Kidman, Meryl Streep, Ariana Grande, James Corden and Kerry Washington to name a few. 12. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, historical fiction? Are you ready yet? Starring Viola Davis as the main protagonist and the late Chadwick Boseman, this movie follows a day in the life of legendary blues singer Ma Rainey and her band of musicians. It dramatizes a disturbed recording session in 1920s Chicago. It's a good mix of facts and historical fiction at the same time. 13. Soul, first Pixar movie to have an African American protagonist. A middle school music teacher, Joe Gardner, is separated from his soul. Off course accidentally. And right before he is supposed to make his grand break as a jazz musician, he is on a quest to reunite his body and soul. 14. The Life Ahead, care and emotional bond. Revolving around an elderly Holocaust survivor and former prostitute, this film is about how she takes the children of local sex workers in her custody either temporarily or permanently for care. Between all of this happening, she then forges a bond with a young immigrant who once robbed her. 15. Sound of Metal, when you can't hear what you are churning out. Starring Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal is a story of a heavy metal drummer whose life takes a drastic turn when he begins to lose his hearing. 16. Pieces of a Woman, based on a play by the same name. A heartbreaking and touching home birth gone wrong leads to a harrowing life when she not only loses the baby but also has an emotional fallout with her partner. The grief of an unsuccessful pregnancy and tragic attached to it makes this movie a daunting watch. 17. The Personal History of David Copperfield, Life from Childhood to Adulthood. Pretty all of us have read the adventures of our favorite childhood character David Copperfield. This film follows his life from childhood to adulthood and all his experiences of making new friends and enemies along the journey. It stars Dev Patel playing as David Copperfield,